balance for. So in this case, the second box, it was 32, but 00 here. So here, while depicting, you've got a 30 pixel, but here you've got a 8 1, which is kind of on the balance side because, like here, half of the box does not satisfy the 30 criteria. So you can also go for the average pooling part. So that's the same theory you can go through. Uh, Nothing new, just the same that we need to compress the size of the image and also extract the prominent features. That's the same line I'll be repeating the whole deck. Okay. So here the same thing, like if I want to look for the number three, I would be running through a filter that would be like it knows that this section must be something like this, this section must be something like this. It would be having filters corresponding to this. This section must be something like this, and this one like this. So that's why we need to use a CNN, like we use the filters. And also, it is possible that in an image, the three was written here, or three was written here, three was written here, three was written here. So you can't always specify the location. So to balance that translational invariance, you basically use the filters. Okay. So done with the filters and pooling. Here's a depiction like the convoluted image after like reducing the dimensions and after max pooling. So you can see the difference. Like here in the first image, you could see a bit of contrast wherever it was. Like for this light bulb here and the window here, you can see it has gone blurry. Like the contrast has decreased. So that's the main thing. Like you lose bit features, but you also gain the dominant one. So sometimes while training the model, the dominant features do the trick for you. Sometimes it won't do, so you need to have the average one. Sometimes any pooling might not work. You need to go for some other method. So that all depends on your feature extraction and your requirements. Okay. So zero padding is nothing but going with the as you have seen that in all the filters and all the pooling layers, there are a high chances that the edges might be lost unless you specify a particular filter to go for the edges itself. Okay, so you can't have always a filter that would be going for the edges. So there is a practice in common, like we just add 00 to the boundaries of the original image. So now this one was the original edge, but now this one is the edge. So you have got taken care of this one. Like if there was some important thing you wanted in your model training, now you can easily access it because now it's in the center. And also, like the edges are um, passing through the filters only once because they are on the edges. Now it's not in the edge. So once for this box, the green highlighted one, and once it will also pass in this box. Okay, once it would pass on this box and so on. Okay, so the number of filters passing through that particular pixel, like the sorry, the that pixel passing through number of filters has now increased. Okay, after the padding part. So that's also common practice that we go through. Any doubts, anybody? Sorry, I forgot to ask in between. Any doubts? Yes, no. Any doubts? Shall we proceed further? Am I audible?
Yes, bhaiya.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So here's a depiction for the same. Like no padding, you have not added any extra borders for it. Stride one. Okay, the stride part is nothing but if you put stride is equal to one, your filter will move one space across the original position. But if you put stride two, so if it starts on this block, the next one would be this one, the next one would be this one, the next one would be this one. Okay, so again, this two, two, blue on blue doesn't suit one. Okay. So accordingly, okay, you can imagine how that goes with stride 2. Like you won't be going to the immediate next layer, but you would be going to the two layer, like alternate layer after the next layer. So this is all depiction of the same padding one, stride one, padding one, stride two, no padding, stride two, all that. So these are all the basics. Like we don't expect you to get to learn too much in a short period of time. Like so, obviously we have kept the camp concise but informative as much as possible, so you can further explore yourselves. Okay, you don't have to limit yourselves to particular things. Like if you need to experiment something else, you need to apply some other algorithm, you can go for it. You are always open to it, and you've got plenty of resources for the same. You can Google it. You can ask Chat GPT. You can either read research papers if you're interested into. That's the best option, I would say. Reading a research paper, because you'd be learning too much. For the same thing, you'll be learning four extra things. So reading a research paper is always a good thing to do. Okay. So these are all the code snippets. I've added this in the PPT just so if you review the PPT sometime later, you'll get to know all these. Like you have to just compile into your collab. So you can either use your collab, or if you have already a GPU integrated laptop and the image size asks for too much time, like it might happen on collab that CPU won't process the number of parameters. Like it does process, but it takes too much time. Like it might show that 2 hours needed for the output or 3 hours needed. So either you can switch to T4 GPU. It's an option available in Collab itself. Or if you have a GPU integrated laptop, you need to set up Python accordingly for the I would say CNN part. So just you'll have to search set up CNN Python, set up Python for CNN, and it you would be guided with a set of instructions, and you can set your a Python environment with your GPU integrated in the laptop. That's the best. But as a beginner, I would still suggest you stick Collab. Okay. These are the code snippets you can see. Mm, okay, so just a minute. This is the first convolution block. Like I have applied 32 filters, and the kernel size, that the filter which had to be applied is 3 cross 3 here. Okay. Activation is relu. Padding same is the default one, like the one. So input shape is your image, like 32 cross 32 cross 3. 3 is nothing but the channels, that is RGB channels. Okay. So here also pool size, you have the syntax you can see model.add layers.max pooling 2D, pool size 2 cross 2. 2D, okay, for the when you have neglected all the channels, that is the same. Pool size is 2 comma 2, max pooling for the same. Second convolution block, I've increased the number of filters. Okay. Kernel size again 3 comma 3, the same thing, max pooling. So you can do accordingly. You can add like you cannot always add too many layers for, like if you have a small data set, training it on a 3 to 4 layers usually gives you the best output. But it depends on your data set, like the overfitting or the underfitting case, like I had discussed previously. Okay. So these are the code snippets. So we are done with the introduction to neural networks and CNN part. Thank you for patiently listening to me. I've seen the participant number drop down drastically, but 40 participants actively listening. That's a huge thing for us for the PPT that we have prepared. So any doubts? Any doubts? Like you can unmute. It's the end of the session. Okay, just raise your hands like how many of you feel that you've learned something new. Let me see how many of you are actively hearing to me. Okay, okay. Oh, everybody has raised their voice. Nice, nice. Okay. So, like, any doubts? First of all, any doubts? Any issues? Any queries regarding the winter camp? Regarding the resources? Regarding the presentation? The previous session as well? Open CV? Anything? Okay. So I think that's it for today. Uh, so you have a week's time. Explore the resources properly. Go through it properly. We'll be uploading the presentation deck as well as soon as possible. And the session is probably being recorded too. So if somebody has, some of your friend has missed it and asks for it, you can always refer to them that we'll be providing the recording too. So the thing is, when you attend the session, you get a head start. Like you know half of the concepts, like how do they work. So just theory reading doesn't do the trick for everybody. Like some might even do that, but not for everybody. So attending the session is the best thing you can do because you get an overview of the whole mess you're going to read for the whole week. Okay. We have provided YouTube lectures, code snippets, and other resources wherever possible. The tasks are not too hard, not hard at all, I would say, but not too easy too. So you need to get a basic hold over the syntax as well. So any suggestions? Any feedback? Anybody willing to unmute? So shall we end the session? Just a yes or no question. Shall we end the session?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Thank you guys. If you have any doubts further in the week, you can DM any of your seniors. I would say just ask it in the group itself because everybody would be benefited from the question also. And if you have any issues regarding the setup of the Python environment or any issue in further software setups or anywhere in the week, just feel free to ask any of us, any of the seniors, or in the group itself. Okay, so bye bye everybody. Hope you continue the camp. Okay, all the best for the task. I'll be we'll be ending the meeting soon. Okay, thank you,
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
thank
Bhaiya.
you,
Thank you, Bhaiya.
thank you, thank you.